Now, I did it all the hard way, so it took twice as long and twice as hard because I was not open to coaching. I was not open to help. So
Mm.
I'm extra thick. Well, I'm a Marine, so I'm extra thick. Okay, so it's just, it took me 20 years to figure it out, but I figured it out. So just saying, but to your point, that's the encouragement that these guys need. They need to understand you can step out of the box. I don't care what you did, it transfers. Welcome to Sharpen the Spear podcast, where we help manufacturing executives command the front and win the floor. I'm Richard Walsh, creator of the Sharpened Impact methodology, and I spent decades helping leaders transform frontline teams, unlock hidden profit, and capture capacity they didn't even know they had. If you want to see where your leadership gaps are costing you and how to fix them, head over to grittolead.com and run the free Sharpened Impact Simulator today. Let's sharpen your edge and get started. And we are back on STS Sharpen the Spear podcast with another incredible guest. Maja Taylor is with us today in the STS virtual house. And Maja, no one knows Maja better than Maja. So, Maja, we need the backstory. Bring us up to speed because we're going to have an incredible conversation.
Uh, Thank you, Richard. First of all, a big, huge thank you for having me on as a guest. I'm really
My
thrilled
pleasure.
and love supporting the work that you do. Love supporting your listeners too, because I connected with your bio of, military background. I've been wanting to be on your show, so I appreciate
Awesome.
being on here as a guest.
Well, thank you. I
And
appreciate you showing up. Showing up's half the battle right there. And here you are. You're 50% there. Now we're just going to kill it. It's going to
okay,
be awesome.
showing up is half the battle. You are absolutely right. So maybe in addition, I want your listeners or viewers to show up for you too. Are you doing good work? And if you've been listening to Richard for a while, or if it's their first time, go on there, rate the show, give him 5 stars because good work and good conversations need to be supported.
Awesome. Awesome. I concur.
So, who's Maya? Okay, well, Maya Taylor, I'm a career ownership coach with the Entrepreneur Source. What does that mean? I help people transition from employee, where they rent their career, to owner, business owner, entrepreneur, where you can own your career, hence the ownership coach. So, it is career coaching with a focus on entrepreneurship. And I myself am a transitioned employee, like so many of us. What we start our career out with working for someone else because our parents told us, go study hard, go to school, get good grades, and get a good degree, right? We heard that. We all heard that. I heard that too. So I did. I followed that advice and I got myself a good job. And I worked for some pretty incredible companies and organizations in various industries, life science, manufacturing, fine chemicals. And I started out in a scientific role. Um, so developed technologies. I did quality control, technical product development, and we developed catalysts in one company where I was able to pivot into a different branch of my career. So I transitioned from R&D to HR and really helped the organization, first of all, find the right people, retain them, then train them, built leadership universities, and did a lot of career development. So I kind of moved from developing systems and technologies into helping people develop their career and figure out what's next for me. And I still do that now. I'm passionate about that. Especially if you've either stalled or you've been downsized, capsized, right sized. Maybe you're frustrated with where your career is stuck right now and you can't move any further. Maybe it's time to explore some different options. That's kind of what my work offers. So I'm helping people explore whether entrepreneurship should be part of the consideration. So it's a learning journey, really. Um, Sometimes my clients have maybe flirted with the idea, what would it be like for me to be my own boss? Sometimes they have a pretty solid idea of what they want to do. Oh, I always wanted to start an art school. And then we'll explore options. What is the right fit for you? What are some of the things that you need to know to even get started? Because most people don't know where to start. So if it's overwhelming to even think about starting your own business, I can help with that. And it always starts out with just creating your vision first. What is it that you're really trying to achieve? What do you need from your career to live the life that you want to live? So it's a holistic approach, right? We start with the vision first. Um, because it's so important to know your why, right? If and when times get tough, they probably will get tough, as in anything you do. The thing that'll keep you going is really understanding why you're doing this in the first place. So that's what we start with.
I love
I
it.
want
I
to,
love it. I think, when we often talk about this why, and it seems to be what I'm noticing, and one of the advantages of being a podcast host, you get to talk to a lot of people in different niches and everything else, that there is this, and as you said, we all were working for somebody sometime. You might have been at McDonald's or something. That might be one job, then you started the business, but we've all started working and then we decided to do our own thing. But today there seems to be a greater draw to that, when for America, let's say post 1900, okay, even early mid 1900s, 70% of the country was entrepreneurs. Now it's less than 35%. Okay. But I'm
look
starting to
at
see a
that.
shift in that. And there's things that are doing it. I wonder, I'm curious if you've seen this. The first is AI,
Yeah.
because the reality is there's going to be some people going to need to find new work. Okay.
Yes.
And the work
I'm
they
talking
do
to
is
them right now. Yeah.
right. So the work that they do will not be available. So they need to talk about pivots, right? Entrepreneurship is the way to go. And they need to do it sooner than later, because it's
Yeah.
better when you can figure it out talking to Maya while you have a job. Okay.
Absolutely. I
Right.
couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Really important. Like, you need to be proactive on this. Okay. You have to be proactive, because,
Yeah.
that savings is only going to get you so far
Yeah.
when the time comes.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that a lot out there? Are you getting people are they feeling that anxiety and they're coming
Oh
to you saying,
gosh.
"Hey, how do I do this?"
Yeah. So that's a great question, especially in, I want to say probably the last 6 to 8 months. I started seeing that pivot. Not that I'm providing any, there's no scientific accuracy
Right.
to any
Same
numbers that I
here.
provide, but the impression that I have is that people who've been laid off, downsized, right sized, that number seems to have gone up. And with the current revolution that's going on in the job market, and I don't just think that it's AI. It's
Mhm.
more than that.
Yes.
AI is a big one, yes. But the way we work, the way the work gets done in our economy is also changing. And the trend towards more gig workers, we started seeing that 5 years ago already
Yeah.
when I was still in HR, right? And kind of closer to that whole hiring, hiring, career development, financing in the corporate world. I'm a corporate refugee. And COVID was another factor, right? That
Right.
changed the job market, how people interview, apply, work. Um, then I would argue that the way the job search works has also gone increasingly more difficult. I just had a conversation with one of my clients about this today, where she's like, okay, I need somebody to review my LinkedIn profile and my resume, and does it match the position that I'm looking for? So you've all heard this advice. Go find the ideal job description that you're looking for. Make sure those keywords are in your profile and in your resume so you can rank in the ATS with the applicant tracking system, the ATS, right? But that's old advice. So here you are using now AI to help you write your resume and your profile. And the companies are using AI to refine or write those job descriptions, put the postings up there. There is some bot sitting there scanning resumes. So AI is talking to each other, but unfortunately, people are not, right? You can't even get to the recruiter or HR person, let alone the hiring manager, or for a human to look at your profile, at your resume. That has gotten harder, and the numbers have increased. It used to be a couple of hundreds for you to get an interviewer resume, an interviewer screen. Now it's triple that,
Well,
right?
let me ask you on that because this is
So,
important. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately with AI writing resumes. I just did a course on AI in business and like using it to use an example of writing a good resume. Now,
mhm,
I always have this disclaimer. I'm not normal. Okay. I can't do normal things.
mhm.
Okay. I can't appeal to masses. I don't do none of that. That's not in who my DNA. So when I think about, but I'm an employer, right? I've
Yeah.
been an owner for 35 plus years. Like if, and resumes, like I call them the sheet of lies. That's what I call the resume. See the sheet of lies.
Oh,
Okay. So it's like, I go, you look great on paper until you come to my office and go, you're a turd. Okay. Like get out of here. Okay. What if you're not this person? Okay. You made up all. So I'm jaded and I'm not normal. So I'm being transparent. I'm all those things. So I don't understand when you talk about this ATS and everything else. Like, so I
oh,
make this really unique. Someone with low, they're young, they have a few years of job experience and a couple of different things. How do you make it so it's appealing? Because you and every other 20-year-old is writing the same garbage with the same AI, saying the same things. Here's my work history. Here's the I'm a hardworking this and this. It's all templated. Basically, it pretends. I'm like, how about you write something that someone wants to read? Okay.
yeah.
Where's the humor? Okay. Where's taking what you did and make it like interesting? Like I've got a great one, and I'm going to share. I want to email it to you when we get off because you'll love it. You may think it will never get read, okay, but you'll like laugh and you'll have a really good go. This is cool. Now I'm like,
That's creative.
if I'm
You're,
the owner,
yeah,
you're coming in for an interview. I want you in front of my desk because you
yeah,
had the courage, okay, not to be everybody else, okay,
yeah,
to stand out, but it really strengthens your position because of
yeah,
how you said it. So again, I'll share that with you after. But but are these algorithms? I don't even know what they're tracking. Like so you're dependent on like how am I standing out to an AI bot? How do you do that? I'm trying to get in your head. You're the employer. I want you to like have a reaction to me, but it seems like that may never get to your desk.
See, that's a great question. I'm not the employer either, and I'm not going to claim to be an expert in the AI or ATS tracking systems. But your creative resume that you're going to share with me might not even make it through the ATS,
That's what I'm
right?
saying.
And that's unfortunate. And that's kind of what I'm seeing, the frustration with my clients that are hugely qualified. I mean, I work with the best people. I have the best clients who educated, super experienced, and it's I'm sure you read the news. There's been lots of layoffs. So
Mhm.
what's the opportunity here of working with Maya? It's an education on other options that you might not have considered and that are viable. So why not take back ownership of your career instead of being controlled by some bot or the 10th boss that's rolling through telling you you're not good enough and now in the next, look at the budget, you get downsized. Why not take back control of your own destiny? Let's just explore that together. You really have nothing to lose because working with me is, I don't charge for my services. It's cost free and risk free for you. It's my way of giving back. That doesn't mean I don't get paid, right? So full disclosure, I am a small business owner. I do get paid. If you want for my client, I will never send you an invoice though. I'm not going to ask you for a Venmo payment. Um, I get referral fees from the business community that I partner with. And those are all businesses. Some small businesses, some a little bit larger. Some of them are franchised, some of them are not. I have other support partners that can help you on your way as you explore. Does entrepreneurship make sense for me? Do I have what it takes? If I don't, what do I need to learn? We're going to uncover all that. And then I'll connect you with the resources. Why not open up and broaden your horizon a little bit? If you feel stuck where you are right now, maybe you still have a job. Maybe you love it actually. I work with those people too. If someone feels like, oh, I have 5 years left to get to retirement, maybe I have 10 years left, but I'm really not on track because I want to move to Aruba and build my beach house there. That takes a little bit of cash. I don't think I have enough cash. I need to create an additional income stream. How do I do that? Let's talk about it. What does that look like for you? So it's really an opportunity to just learn about what else is there. And I can guarantee you, you will surprise yourself because you're going to learn about you and actually the amount of skills that you bring to the table. Richard, that was one of the things that surprised me so much when I started this venture. How how unaware people are of their own skill sets and how what they know right now transfers into business ownership. That was a realization that often people aren't even aware of. That was surprising to me. And I work with executives. I work with experienced people from all sorts of industries and backgrounds.
Well, here's the thing, Maya, and I think you're exactly on point here because people, it's either or.
Yeah.
They're just trained that way. They're put in the
Yeah.
box. I got
Yeah.
a degree in this, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to do
Yeah.
this, and they never think, does it transfer over to this, to these skills? And I'll give you an example. Take a new MBA. Just got their MBA. They come out and they want to have a business.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what they don't know? Anything about business. Okay. They don't know anything about a business.
Hmm.
Okay. They will fail just like some other executive, me, you, and they'll fail. Their odds are exactly the same. I don't care if they have an MBA. And
Yeah.
I've learned this by talking to MBAs. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless they've built a business, built it and run it, what they know is helpful. I'm not saying it's worthless. I'm saying that that step into entrepreneurship with that degree fresh out of college, buckle up, buddy. Okay,
Yeah.
you're in for a ride. Okay, we're on the same level, my man. I have a 1.7 grade point average from high school. Okay, you got an MBA. I'm going to outdo you in business, guaranteed. Already have. Will continue to do it, and I'm being a little facetious, but I'm also being honest. Okay,
Yeah.
because I got scars. Okay, I've been beat up. I've been in it. I've done it.
Yeah.
I'm light years ahead of you. Okay. Now I did it all the hard way, so it took twice as long as twice as hard because I was not open to coaching. I was not open to help. So
Mm.
I'm extra thick. Well, I'm a Marine, so I'm extra thick. Okay. So it's just, it took me 20 years to figure it out, but I figured it out. So just saying, but to your point, that's the encouragement that these guys need. They need to understand you can step out of the box. I don't care what you did, it transfers.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe not specifically. It's not like you just moved to a new desk and doing the same thing, but that
Yeah.
skill set you have will transfer into business. People totally underestimate experience. They totally undervalue it. They underestimate their ability, whatever experience they have, transferring to a new position, right? That's kind of what you're saying, right?
Exactly. Yes. Just like every job that you've had, you had to learn some things to get really good at it, whether you had the degree or some other background, because there were new things in the company or the culture, or they used different equipment. You had to learn some new technical skills to just make it work. This is the same way. But you know stuff from your past that applies here. So let's figure out what that is and then find you the right model. So I mentioned the business community that I partner with. If you can think, because people ask me this question, so what kind of companies do you deal with? If you can think of a service or a product that you as a consumer might need, or that you as a business owner might need, if you're in business, you're probably going to need at some point an attorney, an accountant, a CPA, banker, whatever. You need partners to help you be successful, right? Because entrepreneurship is a team sport. You're not going to get successful on your own. You might even need marketing help. Maybe you need client service support. I don't know. Maybe you need a call center, but there are other people that you need as a business. I can probably connect you to a couple of companies that offer that. Do you want to learn more about that? Do you see yourself in the B2B space? If you want to work directly with the client, with the consumer, have you thought about children's education? Is that an area you're interested in? Maybe you want to do remodels or put roofs on houses. Maybe you want to mow grass. Maybe you want to run a company that helps seniors stay in their home longer, and therefore you're helping them with, light housekeeping or shopping or driving them to doctors. Maybe you have a really intense drive for the world to be healthier, and you're selling your exercise program services or have a wellness spa because you were passionate about that. I don't know. You think of a service or a product, I can probably partner you up with some of my partner companies, and let's just learn more about it. Look under the hood, tinker around, play in the sandbox, and know what it is about before you cast any judgment. All I'm asking is keep an open mind.
Yeah, I love it because here's the thing, and just to kind of put the bow on exactly what you just said is it's all network.
Yeah.
Okay, you've all heard your net worth is based on your network, right?
Yeah.
And but also when it's coming from a trusted source,
Yeah.
when I have referral partners, I vetted those people. Okay, so the
Yeah.
probability of a good connection is much higher
Yeah.
than because I remember my first business. I think I went through. I was on my fourth CPA.
Yeah.
Okay, over time because you outgrow them because
Yeah.
everyone's at a different place or they just weren't producing or this. And then you get to where, oh, my CPA can't help me at all with tax strategy. That's a whole different game. They don't know anything about it. They're about compliance. Okay, I got compliance covered. Now I got to look for tax strategy because I got to keep more. I really like to keep more of my money that I earn. Seem to be giving a lot of weight to a lot of weight to the wrong people. Okay, so I, I want to keep it, and I'll give it to who I want to actually give it to. Okay, so I need tax strategy. So those are those kind of connections, depending on your levels of business. But what you do from the entry point, it's very important that the sooner you can create this network, the faster you're going to be able to grow. Is first consolidate your business into exactly what you want to do and then grow, right? And take it and have those protections or what I call risk transfers, things like that, so that you're on the straight path and you're not going 18 months in and realize you owe $175,000 in taxes because you thought you could do your books yourself. Okay. I
Yeah.
maybe I I may or may not be talking from experience. Okay. Just saying. Okay. Like you, that's all I'm saying. There's a value to
That's a
the
tough
network.
lesson to learn, Richard.
Yes. Yes. You know what they say, education is expensive.
Yeah. You got to pay somebody.
That's right. And I did. You know, the wrong people. Yeah.
I like to do it a different way. Hence,
Yeah.
I'm passionate about teaching, right? So
Yeah.
let's figure out what you want to do first. Set some goals. That means what's the kind of income you want to make? As you think ahead towards retirement, what kind of wealth do you still need to build? Do you want to build equity? Do you want to build your baby that you can hand off at some point to your kids or their kids? Building some generational wealth. People will come to me and say, I want financial freedom. Okay, what does that mean to you? Let's define it. Let's put some nuts and bolts and numbers around it. People will tell me, well, I'm looking for work-life balance. I'm so stressed out by my corporate job. I just can't take it anymore. I'm losing sleep. My health is going down the tubes. Okay, pause. What does work-life balance look like to you in a perfect world? And most people don't know how to answer that question
Right.
because they're so used to the bad stuff, to what is right now. My job is to kind of peel back those layers and really challenge you to think, what is the ideal case scenario? Don't be limited by what your boss told you, where you're not good in, or maybe they've been put down, or maybe they've been praised, but never seen any of that recognition in career advancement or promotions, pay raises. Maybe that was missing. I don't know. Tell me where you're coming from and tell me where you want to go. And I help people reflect on that by using some assessments. We use a disc assessment. I use career questionnaires. And in the beginning, our first couple of conversations are really focused on that because I want to get to know you a little bit. I would not venture to make any kind of intelligent recommendations without knowing at least the basics about Richard or whoever I'm working with.
Right.
So that's really important. And maybe I'll do this to your listeners. If you're listening right now, I'll offer you a free disc assessment with a full debrief. That's like a $200 value if you wanted to get that in the market,
Nice.
but I'll give that to you for free. If you reach out on mayataylor.com and book an appointment, we'll get it going.
Love it. That's awesome. Yeah. So, but let's once we get this base down, because I think you're exactly right. Anyone who's not starting at that, and that's work to do. And do you find, first question, do you find that's difficult for people to do that work
Yes.
because it's so introspective?
Um, I don't know if being introspective is the problem. I can usually get people there. I think in most cases we just run too fast, for too long that it becomes just, how should I say this, a habit of a busy calendar, but it's not focused on the right things.
Right.
And then people forget what's really important. So let's step back. Let's focus on what's really important to you. And I think people struggle with that. Only about, I want to say maybe 8 to 10% of the clients that come to me have put some thought into what they want to do next in their career. Most of them get blindsided or capsized, surprised by, well, I thought I was safe, or I thought this is what I wanted to do. Now I'm not sure. Most people come to me like, I have no idea what I want to do when I grow up. And I don't know how the first question to ask, even. So it's a guided journey that I think helps people just put some parameters around that. And that's important.
Yeah, I think that's really good because I'll tell you, as I work with more seasoned businesses and business owners,
Yeah.
um, they don't have vision either.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
So just, they started the business because they have a skill or a craft or whatever, and they start to build it because they want to work for themselves and do more and be in charge and have more time, none of which they get. Okay,
Hmm.
because they're running the business all by themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, and they haven't laid out a vision plan. We call it strategic vision.
Yeah.
What am I gonna? What are we really working for? Who? How? Why? Those kind of things. Who do we serve?
Yep.
How do we do it? Why do we do it? Understand that in the next 18 and 24 months, what are we going to accomplish in this business? Everybody
Yep.
as a team. Like, what's the big vision? And when we get there and we accomplish it, we're going to write another one. And what does that all look like? And you'd be astounded how many people don't know. And they won't,
Yep.
they get so busy, that tyranny of the urgent, right?
Yeah.
They get in this mix and they don't get any time, the whole thing they started the business for, so they could have more time with their families and all that. They
Yes.
don't ever get that. It's called the owner prison. Okay.
Yes.
And all of a sudden they can't take a day or a weekend and go, I'll just go have a vision weekend. Go think about where this is going. What do you actually want? What are the numbers? I use exit strategy for that. I try to get new people who are starting. The first thing you want to do is create an exit strategy.
Absolutely.
Where you go, how long and how much. Break it down
Oh,
simple. How many years and how much you want when you get out. We'll reverse engineer it from there and it'll be amazing. Because now you have a filter, right? You can filter all your decisions through that. Does it get me closer or further to the exit?
yes.
Now if you're
It's
getting close to the exit and you're killing it and you're having a great time, you also get to move the goalpost. Okay. You don't
yes.
have to get out. You can keep
You
going if you
don't.
want. It's okay. But
Yes.
yeah, those are simple things like, and you're hitting it early, which is good. Like doing this when they're thinking about doing it,
Yes.
because I just did it. I got a wheelbarrow and a shovel and I started shoveling rock and making money. Okay. Not a lot of vision there. Okay. Just make $1,000 a day. Okay. I like that. It was my vision. I will shovel rock every day, all day for $1,000 a day. Okay, let's go. I'll get 2 shovels. I'm good. But yeah, it's so I love that you have that approach, and that is really important because I don't think, and I'm not casting dispersions on the entrepreneurial entrance coaching realm or anything else. I'm just saying that take this take this seriously. Like, listen to this because you may interview multiple coaches, you may talk to different people, they'll offer your services. You've got to learn the first questions to ask. Well, how do you begin? And that's when
Yes.
you need to listen and hear things like Maya's saying here, like, this is what's important. Because if you just have a skill and then they're going to tell you how to turn it into a business, it's going to be really difficult and your probability of failure is really elevated.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought this up. Exit strategy is something that I've been having some conversations about with other people who are experts in the field. And like you, this one consultant who specializes in helping business owners who are done, who want to retire, who are finished, they're at their end of their business life, they want to sell. And he helps them get it ready.
Mhm.
And he told me that, oh, wow, it's so great that you're asking these questions early on because it's such an underserved market. Any business that you start, you should have the end in mind. And that's why I feel the vision building and the goal setting in the very beginning is so important. And I'll hold you accountable to your own goals that you tell me you want to achieve. If you fly off on a tangent and think one particular business model is really great, I was like, you wait a minute. You told me that you don't even like dealing with kids. Why are you interested in this school right here? That doesn't make sense to me. And maybe it is the right fit. Just help me understand where you're coming from. If you had this great aha moment, I want to know about it. So we keep going in the right direction and not the wrong direction. So the education is really centered around what people want to achieve. So once we have this vision, we're going to explore some paths. Do you want to start your own company? richardwalsh.com, you're probably working on that very actively, right? What does that look like for a client? Do you have a bright and shiny idea or a widget that you invented that the world needs? What does it look like? What do you need? What are the components that you need to get this off the ground? Do you have the cash to do it too? Do you have the time and the runway to do it? What does that look like? Maybe it's not that. Maybe you want to buy somebody else's baby. Your startup is your baby. And if you have a great idea, that's awesome. But a lot of people that come to me say, I wouldn't know the first thing of what I want to
Right.
do. I don't have an idea. I don't even know where to start. And I don't have a product either. So maybe I can buy somebody else's business. Wonderful. They're going to want a premium for their baby that they're selling to you because they've been spending the last 10, 20 years building this. Do you have that kind of cash? Do you know how to do the due diligence in that business? There's a number of questions that we can discuss and talk about so you don't forget anything. Like you were saying earlier, do you know what questions to ask? Right? That's important. And then another option to get into business ownership is something more turnkey, a small business model that somebody has figured out what works and what doesn't. You invest in the template, could be like a franchise, right? You're working under a brand or under an umbrella. If you plug and play the business in the box, you're successful. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So, what does that look like? What do you think the pros and cons are of that? How does that fit you with your background and skills? Do you have the money to invest? And if we don't, because that's the big, scary, hairy question. Ooh, I need money to start a business? A little bit, yeah. So let's learn about that too. So part of my education journey with my clients is what does funding look like to you? Do you want to use your own money? Maybe Aunt Betsy is going to gift you some money, or there's something buried in the backyard. Maybe you have some cash in the mattress. I don't know. Maybe you need to get a loan, or you have some retirement funds that you want to repurpose. I don't know. Let's explore what's possible and help you understand what the financial piece could look like, because that's often the biggest fear for people. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
all included.
yeah, trying to educate people on bootstrapping.
Yeah.
Okay, like the majority of you need to be more resourceful than have
Mhm.
resources because you're probably not going to have enough resources to actually fully fund a startup. Okay, if you're starting on your own and doing it, and that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Reason being, your business will be better because of it. You
Yeah.
will be better because of it because you're going to become a top-notch problem solving grinder who's going to get what you need. You're going to find a place to get it. You're going to find who you can collaborate with and network with, just like you're talking about, and you'll get where you want to go. It's going to be work. And here's what I've discovered, Maya. That first 2 years, you're wearing 9 hats, doing all the different things, making this all to go. There's no way around that. I haven't found the secret sauce after all this time how to avoid the hard work of the first 2 years. Okay. The problem, as I always tell people to beware of, next thing you know, 10 years goes by and you've repeated the first 2 years 5 times. That's what you want to avoid. Okay. Because that is a prison.
Yeah.
Okay. You're on
Hmm.
the long sentence. Okay. So again, working with someone like you, you're laying this out. Okay. If you start with the end of the mind, the end of mind, you're even better, right? Because now you understand where the first hire is going to be, what you're going to do, where you go. When that other little opportunity is, I always tell people when you get going well and now you're making some money, everyone becomes an opportunity fairy and they float over and dangle this little thing you should do. Hey, here's the thing. And I learned with having the exit strategy, I just told people, okay, give me a day. Let me run this through my exit strategy. If it gets me closer, I'll consider it. If it
Yeah.
doesn't, it's a hard no. So there, it's simple. It's very uh, economic based, right? Understand like this is legit, it's logical, and but I can say no a lot easier. You're gonna have to say no
Yes.
to a lot more things you're gonna say yes to when you're in business.
Absolutely.
Very important to understand that because if you can't distinguish the two,
Yeah.
okay, the main thing needs to be the main thing and stay the main thing for quite a
Yeah.
while. If you look at the biggest hitters, okay, their main thing is probably still humming because the main thing was the main thing for a long time and they built that to a beast. Okay. And then it became a self sustaining beast. Then they could look at other opportunities, but they were singularly focused on making the
Yeah.
one thing they're doing great. And you need to kind of assume that focus and that attitude.
Yes. And just being really clear on your why and whether it makes sense now to take your power back. And instead of building someone else's dream, do you want to invest in yourself and build your own dream? I have this little thing here in my background. Mm. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see
If you
that?
don't build your own dreams, someone else will hire you to build theirs. That's it.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
And and if the pain is great enough, you're probably ready now. But even if you're not ready, don't you owe it to yourself to live up to your full potential and not build someone else's wealth and equity? How about building your own?
Yeah.
So getting clear on that, whether you're ready to invest in yourself rather than someone else, I think that's the first big step. And then figuring out and learning that you have the skills now already, a lot of them that translate, that transfer over to business ownership. And let's find the right model for you because there are models out there where you don't have to start up alone and reinvent the wheel and come with all the startup capital. There are people out there who are looking for partners, who are looking for investors. Let's see if there's some out there for you.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember this. Okay. You're never ready. It's never a good time.
That's
It's like when
true.
people ask about, like, I talk to young couples who get married. Oh, it's not time to have a baby. I go, it's never time. It's never the right time. If you wait for
Yeah,
that, you'll be like 90. Okay. And then you'll say, oh, it's not the right time because I'm going to die. Okay.
yeah.
Like it's just, you do it. You just do it. I have two things. That's imperfect action. That's what wins the day. You take imperfect action. You're never going to be perfect. And the second one is my favorite when you're starting something new. It's ignorance on fire. It works. Okay. You will get a lot done even though you don't know what you're doing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The flames eventually will go out and you'll be back down. But ignorance on fire is powerful. You
Mm-hmm.
have to harness that tool and go. You
That
will
is true.
figure it out regardless. You don't know everything anyways, never gonna. I'm still learning stuff every day. And I've been doing this a really long time. I've got more failures than you've had successes. Okay. So like just keep going. You
That
got
is
the
true. You
grit to
got to
do it.
keep going. Yep.
That's where the power is. I just want that as if you're on the fence, just get off and start going.
Yes.
There's no if you're on the fence, it's a yes. Put it that way. How about we make that declaration? If you're on the fence, it's a yes. Just jump off, go with a yes. Worst case, you fail, okay, and either adjust to something else or whatever. You get a job. Who cares? Okay. I mean, you got to
Yeah.
go. I'm not a plan B guy, if you can't tell.
I
Okay.
love that. And yes, you're right. You can always get another job, and there's always going to be somebody out there who needs your service. You can find another client, but don't you owe it to yourself to to show up and really do the thing that you meant to
Yeah.
come and do
Yeah.
here?
And you have to be a forward thinker in the way that, when it's hard. I'm doing that. I'm going through it right now. I've spent the last 13, 14, 15 months 15 hours a day, working every day, 7 days a week, building this thing but now I'm on the other side. And now it's starting to come in. I'm like, there are a lot of people talking smack during that time. Just saying, there's a lot of crabs going to pull you back down in the bucket.
Yes, see, we
All
use that
right.
too. Crabs in the basket.
That's
There's
right.
going to
So,
be the well-meaning friend, the
yep. Yep.
well-meaning
Oh,
brother-in-law.
let me
Oh, why are
just
you
give
going
this
to do
piece of advice that I always give. Let me share this. Okay, Maya. Like
that?
the one thing you never do, this is this is doctrine. Okay.
Okay.
Never ask your family or friends what they think about your business idea. Never. Don't ask them. Don't get their opinions. Okay. Don't ask if this is a good thing, if this is a good price. You know why? And I mean this in love. Okay. They're biased.
Yeah.
100% biased. They don't know. Jesus couldn't heal people in his own hometown. Okay. He had to dust his sandals off and head on down the road. Okay. So if Jesus struggled with it, you can definitely take this to the bank. Okay. Like, because, and this is not a judgment on them. This is they're too close to you. Okay. You're better
Yeah.
off walking up to a 100% stranger on the street. Okay. And say, hey, check this out. I made this. What do you think? Poke holes in it. Tell me what's wrong with this thing. Give them permission to be honest. And then you'll get, I'm just saying, it really works well.
What
Okay.
what are some of the biggest biases that you've come across? What did you see?
The biggest place, oh, you know what kind of risk that's going to put you in? I mean, you've got a family, you just bought a house. How are you going to make your mortgage? How are you going to, it's all the what if, what if all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't really know what you're doing?
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, even, how you've been in your business for 10 years. You've been working at this place for 15 years. You're going to give all that up? Well, what about your pension? What about this? What about that? I'm like,
Hmm.
and those are a few, right?
Hmm.
So it's like my family laughed at me when I was leaving to go start my business. I'm changing states. I'm going back to Chicago, Arizona. They laughed at me. I go, okay, but guess what? It happened 12 years later. They all wanted to work for me.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've got all this to go. I'm like, well, no.
Yeah.
It's just so
Oh
understand
gosh.
that just stop it before it starts. Okay,
Yes,
you have to have selective hearing in these
you
situations.
do.
You really do. If you have a coach like Maja, if you have a network, that's who you're listening to.
Yes.
Okay. You have to have the confidence and the trust in those people. Could just say if you're playing football, playing baseball, whatever sport you're doing, you have a coach telling you what to do, and you probably did it. Shocking. You got better at your sport, right? Wow. Go figure. Okay. Someone who knows more than I do telling me what to do. Wow. Who thought that would work? You know?
Yes. That's right. If you want to be rich, do what the rich people do. If
That's
you want
right.
to be the best soccer star, you maybe want to train with, Messi or
I would get in the
Ronaldinho
ring with
or
pros, right? Boxing. Someone boxing,
exactly.
I'm getting
And it
smashed every day.
unless your
Beat the
family members are experts in that thing that you want to do, I would be careful too. You're totally right. I stopped talking to people close to me when I had that inkling, you know what? I think I want to be an entrepreneur. And at first, it was just this faint twinkle little idea in the background, and oh, I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah. Well, that's where it always starts.
That's how it always starts. Somebody had an idea, and then you need to surround yourself with people, with like-minded people who can help you excel and grow in that, not the ones who pull you back. The crabs in
That's
the basket are real. Do not get derailed. Hold on to
six.
your dream, not the day job. Hold on to your dream.
Remember that successful people
Yeah.
will always help others become successful.
Yep.
They're not hoarding it.
Yep.
Oh, it's my success. I'm not sharing. They want once you achieve those levels, you just want to help other people get to those levels because you understand what it means. And like, how
Yes.
cool would that be? So it's the ones pulling you down. They're never going to take those risks. They're risk averse, right? You have to have a little bit of I can take some risk. I get it. No risk it, no biscuit. Right? That's what I say. You got to
Yeah.
have some risk involved, but you can get there and understand that everyone starts in the same place with something new. You know where that place is? Awful. Everyone starts at awful. Okay. Then they get a little better, a little bit, then they get okay, then they get good, then they get very good, then they get exceptional. Now they're a master. Everyone takes the same path. Now, time frames could be a little bit different and how
Hmm.
fast they adjust depending on who they listen to and who's coaching them and and what their drive actually is. But everyone's at the same place. So just accept that. Like what do I why do I have to need to why do I have to need to know what to do? So we homeschooled my kids, right? So I have 6 kids, homeschooled them all the way through. Here's the
Congrats.
philosophy I began with, my wife and
Okay.
I. We only got to be a week smarter than our kids. 1 week. As long as I'm 1 week smarter, I can do this. And we did it all the way through high school.
Hmm.
Okay. From the beginning to the end, I'm 1 week smarter. Okay. So like we did it. Okay. They're brilliant. Okay. They're all doing things, doing the thing, everything else. So don't tell me you can't do something that you don't know anything about. You know,
Yeah.
you know, I did let my wife take care of math though, because that's not something I want to teach anyone. That'd be bad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So a man has to know his limits.
You do have
Okay.
to know that algebra
That,
or
oh, oh, you give me,
or decide that you're not going to be
that's right.
bothered with it.
I just, yes, I say, I just promise I'll never use it. If I don't have to lose it, if I don't have to learn it, I promise I'll never use it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I make that promise? Good. And I did. Okay. But yeah, it's funny. But it's the entrepreneurial journey, Maya, is just one of those things where a lot of people let fear dictate what they're going to do. They conjure all this stuff in their mind, fear, false evidence appearing real. That's the acronym, right?
Yes,
Like
it is.
none of it's nothing. Talk to those who have done it. Talk to
Yep.
Maya, talk to other business owners, to everything else. Like they were probably in the same position. We all started somewhere. We all
Yeah.
started a business. I had a lot of businesses, a lot
Yeah.
of failed stuff, but it's doing it, and everything's an experience. Every small failure is just a stepping stone, a learning block, right? And you take it. It's quitting that's bad. I'm just going to put that out there from
Because
my,
then you give up. That means giving up.
you're
We're
a
not going to
quitter.
give up.
You're a quitter. It's
Yeah.
disgraceful.
Yeah.
My son was on a podcast with me. He's in the Marine Corps now, doing really well. And the one was interviewing him primarily because who wants to hear about me? Here's this young Marine. Let's talk about his stuff. And she asked him, like, a lot of guys were dropping during basic and during School of Infantry and MSG school and all this stuff. She's like, well, why didn't you quit? And he had the best answer ever. You know what he said? He
What?
goes, well, that's not who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at him because like, you're awesome. He's just like, that's not who I am. I don't quit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll take a little credit. I kind of trained him that way, but he just has that in him though. But he doesn't quit. He's an achiever, and it's just having that mindset that the only thing worse than losing is quitting. You could think
Yeah.
about that. Okay, a lot of little things you could tell yourself, but quitting is just you just didn't persevere enough. Now, I don't mean drive yourself into total, you're broke living underneath a bridge kind of thing,
No.
and your family has nowhere to, get food. I'm not saying do
Yep.
that. Okay, let's
Nope.
not be dumb. Okay. But I'm just saying, like, there's perseverance, there's understand that these hurdles are going to be there all the time. Doesn't matter your level, it's just new problems. And every problem is an opportunity. If you can focus on that, every
Yeah.
problem you have is an opportunity. If you treat it as an opportunity, you're going to grow that much faster.
And it's about asking the right questions.
There it is.
You said that earlier, where successful people will help you be successful. A rising tide raises all ships because if I'm more successful than you, either it's because, maybe I've worked longer at it or harder, or I had help from someone else. I want to give that back. And by me helping you, it improves all of us, really,
Yep.
especially if you're working within a business model that has systems in place, has other people working in it. I give the example of within franchising, there's this three-legged stool. So there's the effort that you put into your business. You're going to work your butt off because you're investing in yourself and in your own dream. You want to make some money, build your equity, give something to the kids, whatever, right? That's your dream. You're going to hustle. But then there is the efforts that the franchisor puts into it too. There's a model. They have already figured out what works and what doesn't. So a lot of mistakes that you could have potentially made, they've already made them, figured it out. You don't have to make them. Great. But then there's the third leg of that stool. You have this instant community of, in my case, it's other coaches. In your case, it might be, other military guys, and you pick their brains as you watch them grow their thing. And you can incorporate some of these little nuggets and make, therefore, your business better. So then again, a rising tide raises all ships. If you surround yourself with people who are working in the same direction as you are, you're going to be so much better for it, and your business is going to be more successful.
Yeah, we are who we associate ourselves with.
Absolutely.
And you
Yeah.
have to
So
you're going to separate, things are going to change. those around you are going to change.
Yep.
Talked about family and things like that. Like there's going to be some distance created. You're going to cut off a few things. You're going to drift away, and you're going to find that new group because you can't. I believe it's a Chinese saying. You can go faster alone, but you can go further together.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to think about you're going far. Okay, entrepreneur is a journey, and it's
Yes.
a
And it's never
long
done.
journey. It's
Hmm.
just I'm still doing it. I'm doing the
Yep.
biggest thing of my entire life now.
Yep. Me
And you're
too.
near the I'm gonna air quote the end. That's not really the end, but I'm just saying I've done a lot. You know what I mean? Like I'm taking on the biggest thing I've ever done. Okay, because you're never
Yeah.
done. You're never finished. And there's always more to accomplish and do. But when you're transitioning from employee to entrepreneur, okay, you're at the very beginning
Yep.
of a really incredible journey that you're
Yes.
gonna need to persevere through.
Yeah. And I want to pose the question to your listeners too. Like, what is your F word? The F bombs. There is some fear associated with taking that step, right? You're standing at the abyss, and here's this big hairy deal, and now I'm gonna go jump and fly on my own and do this entrepreneurship thing. Afraid, scary, fear, that false evidence appearing real. You mentioned that, but what other F words are there? There's family, friends who love you and they don't want to see you fail, another F word. Oh my gosh, fear of failure is a big one. And those well-meaning friends that know you so well, they want to protect you and they'll tell you, "Oh, don't do that. Why don't you go get a real job instead of following that harebrained floozy idea that you got there?" Are they talking about their own thoughts and fears, or are they talking about you and your best interests? You have to decipher that. Is that a F bomb that's lingering around in your life? Maybe it's the finances, the funding, the F. That's another F to think about. I can't afford this. I got bills to pay. I have a mortgage. I have, 4 kids. My wife doesn't work and I can't afford to do that. Really? Have you looked at all the options? Come on, I'll show you some things. So kind of pinpointing what your F words are and what's the antidote to fear? Knowledge
Action.
and
Action.
action. Yeah. First of all, get in the know. What else is out there? Do you really think you know everything already? Are you the expert? No, go consult some experts. So this whole learning and coaching journey with me is connecting you to those sources, people, and we'll do assessments and have some resources, reading material. There'll be homework when you work with me because I just like giving homework.
That's
It's
awesome. And I'm telling you, you need to hear that. You need to hear that it's work. Don't think entrepreneurship is, I mean, most people just see end product. They never see the journey, right? They
yeah.
don't understand it's work. It's always work. I had a friend of mine, well, she's a son of a friend of mine. I'm that age now. Okay. He recently got married and I was talking to him, his at work. And I said, yeah, congrats. Everything else. Yeah, it's good. Been like 3 months, 4 months. I go, okay. I only give one piece of advice to new married couples. Okay. And it's this. I go, marriage is work. And they look at it and they go, yeah. And I go, forever. I go, it's work forever. Okay. And they're like, I go, you're always working at it. You're always
Mm-hmm.
making it better. You're trying to make it better, trying to make it last, everything else. I go, that's marriage. And that's entrepreneurship.
It
Okay.
does.
It's always work. You may do less work. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you get your business dialed in or whatever. But then if you get to that point, you start going, boy, what if I did another business? I could do another
Mm-hmm.
business because this one running by itself. And then the whole thing starts over again. Isn't that fun? Right. So you're just a little more knowledgeable now. I mean, the learning curve's a little shorter, but you'll have fun with it. So
Yeah.
it's always work.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. If you're not being given work by those who are coaching you, reevaluate your coach.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and if it's too comfortable, because it has to be a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's
My
not rent
job
a
is to,
friend. It's not
no, it's
rent a
not.
friend. Okay.
I'm going to pull you out of your
We're,
comfort
we're,
zone. That's my job. I'm going to hold you
well,
accountable to the thing that you told me you wanted to achieve
yes.
and
I
why
said,
you want it.
when you gain what you want, we can become friends then.
Hmm.
Okay. Till then, I'm a taskmaster. Okay. Just stand by. And if you show up and you haven't done the work, look out. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's not going to be a good day for you. Okay. I know where you live.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's this has been great, Maya. Really, really great conversation. I think it's just been full of a lot of reality,
Mm.
okay, with hope. With hope. Like
Oh,
there's a path here for
there is a
people,
path.
but we didn't sugarcoat anything,
Nope, good.
right?
I don't want to sugarcoat it. You're gonna
That's
have to
how
show up 100%, but there's
bam.
help. You don't
That's
have to do it on your own.
that's what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, I tell people this all the time. They're probably sick of hearing me say it, but you gotta ask and accept help. I
Yes.
didn't do
Oh.
that first 20 years in business. I would tell people I had multi-billionaire clients giving me advice that I would not take. And guess
Wow.
what? It was all correct. And if only I had listened. Just like I say, if only I had all the money I lost. Okay.
Mm.
But
Well, okay. So I want people to really listen to that advice. That is the best advice in this entire conversation. Go get support. Go get some help. And while you need to think about, CPAs, attorneys, accountants, and structures and your funding, all that is important when you think about business ownership. But every person I interview that was successful tells me the number one most important thing is get a good mentor who's done it and been there. Get a good coach who gives you good advice and challenges you to keep thinking bigger and stretch you. So the mentor and coach thing is can't be undervalued. So that's really good advice, Richard.
awesome. Yeah. What a great way to wrap this up. So Maya, how can people get in touch with you? Get your whatever you've got. Let's share that now so they got a path to continue their journey.
Yes, thank you. www.majataylor.com. Majataylor. It's with my name is with a J. Um, Book some time. I would love to have a brief conversation with you, understand what your dreams and goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, and we'll go from there. Like I said, I'll offer a free assessment, and you have nothing to lose. No cost, no risk. It's just a conversation, just like here today. Book a
Okay.
call.
So that's awesome. I'm going to tell people, I'm going to give them a warning. Okay. Now, my saying no cost. Okay. Don't devalue it.
Hmm.
Okay. Because I'm not a huge fan of free. Okay. But don't devalue, take advantage of it. Okay. Go get what you need to know. At least begin a process, take action on this.
Yeah.
If you don't, well, you're never going to be an entrepreneur. I'm just going to call you out right now. If you can't make a free call for some free advice and a free disc assessment, like I said, that's a couple $100 right there. Go
Yep.
research it. You'll find out. Okay. Like take advantage of that so you have a starting point. But if you can't, then just keep your job till you get laid off or fired. Okay. And you're on the street. Okay. I'm giving you one opportunity,
Okay.
one shot here. And that's all you're getting. Okay. But you need to take action. You can do it right now. Get it on the books, get it in the calendar, and make this happen so that you can begin that journey, make that pivot to save yourself from being a victim of AI layoffs or whatever that might be, and doing
Yes.
something that's going to truly fulfill you. Is
That's right.
that right,
Take
Maya?
charge. That's right.
That's
Thank you,
right.
Richard. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. I just wanted to be clear on that. I always let my people know that's how these things work. Awesome.
Good.
Well, Maya, thank you for all the time today. This has been absolutely fantastic. I've loved every minute of it.
Me
And for
too.
everyone else, we'll see you on the next STS podcast. Thanks for joining me on the Sharpen the Spear podcast. If you're a manufacturing executive and you're serious about unlocking hidden profit, improving frontline leadership, and taking control of your floor, go to grit2lead.com right now. Run the free Sharpened Impact Simulator and discover your biggest opportunities are hiding. Don't leave millions on the table. Sharpen your spear, lead from the front, and win the floor. Until next time, stay sharp.